The Baltimore Ravens have been on a roller coaster in recent seasons, and fans are feeling the weight of expectations more than ever coming into this year. The spotlight on John Harbaugh has never been brighter, and the debates about his future are only intensifying. You look at the Chiefs this season, a team with a long history of Super Bowl appearances and multiple championships, and yes, they are 6-6, but the bar for Kansas City has always been higher. For the Ravens, though, the story is different. Despite years of Lamar Jackson's incredible talent and flashes of brilliance, the hardware hasn't followed. No Super Bowl appearances, no AFC Championship banners to hang in the rafters, just a steady drumbeat of near misses and playoff heartbreaks. And that's where the tension sits for this organization and the fan base. The conversation around Harbaugh versus someone like Andy Reid, for example, highlights the challenge of measuring success. Reid's teams often fell short at points, but had a track record of sustained excellence and championships. Harbaugh, by contrast, has been an excellent coach, but excellence on paper hasn't translated to ultimate success. And that's the rub for fans and the franchise alike. The debate around Harbaugh is complex because he has done so much for the Ravens, particularly in the early years of Lamar Jackson's tenure. He took Jackson to an AFC Championship game as a rookie, won a Super Bowl in the earlier part of his career, and has consistently fielded competitive teams. Yet, close doesn't count in this league. Fans and analysts alike measure coaches by championships, by banners, by those moments when the entire season boils down to a single game and you have to come through. Harbaugh has been on the sideline for seasons where expectations were sky high, and the results didn't match the hype. There have been years with playoff exits that left fans frustrated and wondering if the ceiling for this team had already been reached. And it's not just Harbaugh's coaching record that comes under scrutiny, it's how the team has been managed as a whole. From defensive coordinators coming and going to offensive strategies that sometimes seem to stall, the one constant has been the head coach. And that means the spotlight and the blame falls squarely on him. When you watch other teams, you see what a shift in leadership can sometimes do. Look at Andy Reid, who left Philadelphia after consistent success, found a new home, and established himself as a Hall of Fame level coach. His journey underscores the idea that sometimes a fresh perspective can take a talented roster to new heights. For Baltimore, the question becomes whether maintaining the current leadership structure is enough or if a shake-up is necessary to reach the pinnacle. It's not a slight against Harbaugh, he is undeniably talented, but in professional sports, timing and momentum matter. The Ravens have had years where playoff opportunities were squandered, often by narrow margins, and that leaves fans and management alike questioning if the current system is truly built for ultimate success. 3 consecutive seasons of regression would not be acceptable when the franchise has one of the league's most electrifying quarterbacks in Lamar Jackson. The stakes are as high as ever, and the pressure is on both the coaching staff and the players to deliver, or the tough decisions will have to be made. Now, speaking of Lamar Jackson, his performance and health are critical pieces of this puzzle. The man has shown time and time again that he is a game changer. But talent alone doesn't guarantee championships. This season has exposed some vulnerabilities: inconsistent passing percentages, limited long runs, and injuries affecting his mobility all contribute to a sense that the window for a deep playoff run is narrowing. Fans know that talent peaks, and when it does, every opportunity must be seized. The combination of Harbaugh's decision-making, coaching strategies, and Jackson's on-field execution will determine whether this season is remembered as a missed chance or a turning point. The reality is that the Ravens are at a crossroads. Success requires alignment of coaching, strategy, player health, and execution. Anything less could prompt major changes in the offseason. Despite these challenges, there is reason for cautious optimism. The team recently received encouraging news regarding key defensive players returning from injury. Arias Washington and Tavius Robinson, both sidelined earlier in the year with significant injuries, have returned to practice. Arias, in particular, suffered a torn Achilles in May, a devastating injury that has sidelined him for much of the season. His return is a positive sign, though returning from such an injury requires time to regain full confidence and physical readiness. Even after being cleared to play, players often need to recalibrate their movements, rebuild trust in their bodies, and adjust to the pace of the game. For Arias, this process will be crucial as the Ravens look to solidify their defense. Heading into the playoff stretch, the team has made adjustments in his absence, rotating players like Alohi Gilman, and Kyle Hamilton to fill gaps, but the return of a player with Washington's experience and skill is a significant boost. Tavius Robinson's return is similarly impactful. He had already demonstrated his ability on the field this season before injury sidelined him, and regaining that form could provide a critical edge for the Ravens in high-stakes matchups. The timing of these returns is vital, particularly with the playoffs on the horizon, even if players are activated and cleared to play. Integrating them seamlessly into the lineup takes careful management. The coaching staff will need to monitor snap counts, evaluate chemistry with teammates, and ensure that players are mentally and physically ready to handle game day intensity. The strategic decisions made now can influence the team's trajectory in the postseason. Every defensive stop, every turnover, every critical play could tip the balance in tightly contested games. The Ravens have the talent, but execution and readiness are key. A fully healthy roster that can operate at peak efficiency has the potential to dramatically alter the narrative of a season that, until recently, has left fans uncertain about their team's prospects. Looking at the bigger picture, the Ravens are grappling with both opportunity and urgency. Lamar Jackson remains the franchise quarterback, a player whose talent demands that the organization maximize every season. He is at his prime. Harbaugh's leadership, while proven over time, will be evaluated through the lens of immediate results. The combination of player health, coaching decisions, and team performance will define not only the remainder of this season, but potentially the direction of the franchise moving forward. There are difficult conversations ahead for the front office. Discussions about coaching, player contracts, and roster management. The ultimate goal remains clear: Super Bowl contention and, ideally, victory. The Ravens' ability to navigate injuries, leverage their star talent, and execute at a high level in critical moments will determine whether they can achieve that goal, or whether changes will be inevitable. The stakes could not be higher for Baltimore fans, and the anticipation heading into the final stretch of the season is palpable as the Ravens push deeper into the season. Attention now shifts to the offense and how the team can turn potential into performance. After enduring setbacks with injuries and inconsistencies, the recent news that key players are returning has injected a renewed sense of hope. Players like Arius Washington and Tavius Robinson coming back onto the field are more than just boosts to the defense. They create ripple effects across the roster. For the offense, a confident, disciplined defense means that Lamar Jackson and his teammates can operate with less pressure, allowing plays to develop and giving Jackson the space to make decisions at the speed he thrives on. The Ravens' offense, which relies heavily on rhythm and timing, benefits from even marginal improvements on the defensive side, and that synergy could prove crucial in close games down the stretch. Jackson's performance remains central to the team's ambitions. The quarterback's dual threat capability has always been one of Baltimore's greatest advantages, but this season has highlighted the delicate balance between talent and health. While he may not be facing career-ending issues, the cumulative effect of injuries and the wear and tear of repeated high-intensity games cannot be underestimated. The coaching staff must calibrate play calling to maximize Jackson's effectiveness, while protecting him from situations that could exacerbate physical strain. The team has shown flashes of brilliance when the offensive line holds strong and receivers execute routes with precision, but those moments have been intermittent. Integrating returning players and maintaining offensive cohesion are tasks that will demand both strategy and adaptability. How the Ravens manage these elements could determine whether they surge into the playoffs with momentum or fall short once again. There is also the question of leadership and accountability within the organization. John Harbaugh's tenure has been defined by consistency, but consistency alone is not sufficient at this stage. The team's repeated struggles in the postseason put a spotlight on decision-making in critical moments. Time management, challenge execution, and situational strategy are all under scrutiny. While Harbaugh has proven capable of navigating regular season success, translating that into deep playoff runs has been elusive. The front office faces tough decisions. Do they maintain continuity with Harbaugh and the current staff, or did they consider fresh approaches to unlock the team's full potential? These are conversations that go beyond individual games. They shape the long-term trajectory of the franchise. For a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, who is arguably in the prime of his career, the alignment between coaching, roster composition, and offensive strategy is critical. Maximizing the remaining years of Jackson's peak performance is a priority, and the decisions made now could define the next decade of Ravens football. The impact of returning players on the offensive Line and skill positions cannot be overstated, even small improvements in blocking schemes, pass protection, and timing can open up opportunities for Jackson to execute big plays. The presence of a reliable receiver or running back can change the dynamic of a game, forcing defenses to adjust and creating mismatches that the Ravens can exploit in high-pressure playoff environments. Depth and versatility become just as important as star power. Having experienced players back from injury strengthens the roster, not only physically, but psychologically, instilling confidence across the locker room. When players trust one another to execute their roles effectively, the team operates with a cohesion that is difficult to disrupt. This intangible element, team chemistry, often makes the difference between a good team and a championship-caliber team. Special teams and situational football also come into play. Field position, turnovers, and red zone efficiency have all been areas of concern for the Ravens at different points in the season. Improvements in these areas can amplify the contributions of key players like Jackson, creating scoring opportunities and minimizing risks. Coaches will need to fine-tune these elements, ensuring that every aspect of the game is optimized for playoff intensity. Returning players must be reintegrated carefully, balancing their readiness with the need to preserve health. For the most critical games, the Ravens have the tools, but execution under pressure will determine how far this team can go. Each snap, each defensive adjustment, each pass and run carries significant weight as the margin for error narrows. Looking at the larger landscape, the Ravens are not alone in their struggles and expectations. Teams across the league face similar pressures to convert talent into championships. Coaching, player development, and in-game strategy intersect in complex ways, and the organizations that navigate these variables effectively often rise above the competition. For Baltimore, the combination of Jackson's talent, returning defensive firepower, and strategic offensive adjustments creates a window of opportunity. But it is one that must be seized with precision. The season's final stretch will be defined by resilience, adaptability, and the ability to perform when stakes are at their highest. Ultimately, the Ravens' journey this season is about more than just wins and losses. It is about the alignment of opportunity, preparation, and execution. Fans have invested hope, energy, and passion into this team, and the players and coaching staff bear the responsibility to translate that into results. Injuries, past disappointments, and inconsistencies create challenges, but they also provide motivation. Every snap, every drive, and every strategic call carries the potential to rewrite the narrative of the season. As the Ravens continue to integrate returning players and adjust to evolving game situations, the focus remains on creating a team capable of competing at the highest level. The playoff push is on the horizon, and Baltimore must take full advantage of its talent, depth, and experience to achieve the success that has eluded them for too long. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. Lamar Jackson is causing waves again, and this time, it's not on the field. Sources close to the Ravens locker room suggest that the star quarterback's latest comments could ignite one of the most talked about off-field controversies of the season. In a statement that has already set social media and sports talk shows ablaze, Jackson reportedly said, "In our group, most don't want to see him here again with the Ravens." The cryptic remark has left fans and analysts scrambling for context. Who exactly is Jackson referring to? Insiders hint that the comment targets a former teammate whose tenure in Baltimore ended on a complicated note, blending moments of brilliance with episodes that rub the locker room the wrong way. The player in question has been linked to trade rumors and free agent speculation for months, but Jackson's blunt statement adds a new layer of intrigue. While the Ravens have historically maintained a tight-lipped stance regarding internal dynamics, whispers from within suggest Jackson's words reflect a broader sentiment in the locker room. Teammates who have been vocal in private about team chemistry and culture may see this as a pivotal moment to reinforce their position. The question now looming over the franchise is whether this tension could influence roster decisions or if management will intervene to keep the team's focus solely on the field. Fans have already started weighing in, dissecting every angle on forums and social media platforms. Speculation ranges from potential trades to a locker room showdown that could redefine leadership dynamics in Baltimore. Sports analysts are noting that while Jackson's comment seems offhand, It may be a deliberate signal, a way to express dissatisfaction without explicitly naming names. This kind of statement rarely happens without reason, and it often precedes major moves during the offseason as murmurs grow louder. The Ravens front office remains quiet, leaving the public to connect the dots. One thing is clear: Jackson's influence in the locker room extends beyond his electric play on the field, shaping conversations that could determine the team's next big decisions. Fans are left on edge, wondering if this cryptic jab will spark a ripple effect that changes the roster, alters alliances, and fuels the ever-present drama that makes the NFL as unpredictable off the field as it is on it. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.